Setting up for and manually tracking with the SRX600 Receiver. Setting your channels, your scan time, requires a few things. Connect via your USB shown here up at the top, USB. Make sure that you are in setup mode, and as you can see here, the active user is USB and SRX mode is set up. Make sure that you have no data on board. And you'll have in here record types and counts that I just highlighted. You should have 0. A lot of times you'll have battery, OKs, etc. You'll have to initialize. So press the initialize key here, button, and then press the warning message, OK, and then exit. So now you have clear memory and you are connected and logged on, as you can see. Okay, setting up your frequencies. Go to SRX Live Editor. This is what's on board your computer. It shows an error message a lot of times, but you are going to change this, so if you'd like to proceed, click yes. And the active configuration is green and it's number 1. My code set is going to be low-tech 2000. Right here in the code set index you have 2003, so I'm going to choose number 2 and it should be low-tech 2000, and the number of codes on each frequency is 212. You can see low-tech 3 over here to the right. My tags burst interval is 4 seconds, so my scan time, my dwell on each channel is going to be 4.5 seconds. That just allows for processing. If I had my GPS antenna, I would also click on GPS clock and enable GPS positions. However, I'm doing this in the office, so I'm just going to uncheck these. You have to make sure that you send to your receiver. Anytime this active configuration says edit it, you must send to your receiver so that it will be on board. Next up, Frequency and Channels tab, highlighted here. I have a series of 7 channels on board the receiver. I'm going to remove one just to show you how to do it. Highlight the channel, press the remove key here, highlighted, and it's gone. Now I'm going to add one just to show you how to do it. I'm going to add 174.666, and then all you have to do is add. Now the receiver assigns the channel number because on this particular receiver I have multiple channels that I've already entered. So you have to make sure that when it's orange and edited, you must send it to the receiver so it's on board. Next up, antenna hydrophone configuration. Since we're manually tracking, make sure that this box using antenna switch box is unchecked, and set your gain to a manual tracking gain. 60, 70, 80, anywhere in that. And if you get too much noise, drop it down. But initially I'm just going to set my master antenna gain at 60. Next up, I didn't edit it, that's why this dot did not change to orange. If I change it to 61 or just click on one of the items, then it's going to be edited. Next up, filter settings. Make sure that it says no filters, that the enable pulse width is unchecked, and the signal strength deviation is unchecked initially. Next up, sensors. Make sure that there is no current assignments unless you have sensor tags. And at this point, that's all the settings. We go OK. Now we are going to log off the receiver, and we're going to show you what the keypad looks like on the receiver when you go out manually tracking. So to show you this, I'm going to use the keypad simulator. I'm going to hit end escape just once so that I can get off the screensaver, and it'll say user none and mode setup. So to log on, and this is when you're holding the receiver itself, just log on and then press #1 key, and then the password is 12345 6 by default. So now it says user keypad online and setup. To start your scan, just hit code log and then 2 for scan, which is code log button again. Make sure that you continue to log data because we now have a clear machine. Press 1 for that, and now we're scanning for an ID tag on one channel after another every 4.5 seconds. Let's say you pick up a tag or two on one of your channels and you want to hone in on it. All you have to do is press the setup key here in the bottom left, and it'll pause on the channel. As you can see here, pause for ID tag. At this point, if you want to hone in even further, you can utilize the up G or down G. It goes in increments of 2. That's referred to as delta. And let's say you're getting really close and you're going to drop it right down to 30 or less. And you hone in on 1 or 2 tags, which should show up as ID and with an S signal strength. And basically that's all. If you want to go back to your scan, just press setup one more time, and it'll just scan through your channels in 4.5 second increments. It should go back down now to #1. And that's how you manually track with an SRX600 receiver and multiple channels on various frequencies.